trying to do it by himself. Not only is he below when it comes to Storm Surge, taking so much damage to the zone, and luckily for him, there's a little stand with fruits and vegetables towards the outskirts. He's going to try to munch on a couple of those. And I guess my mom was right. Fruits and vegetables really do make you big and strong.
I don't know about the big part for you, Jacob, but nevertheless, Kami is still in this one.
Joke's on you. I didn't eat the vegetables.
Of course not. Of course not. Look, Vaniac isn't alive, and we usually associate the big solo clutches with Vaniac. So this is Kami's chance to show that he isn't just being carried in this team. He can carry his load when needed. But it will be hard because he's only down to wood, and there is a team right above him, and it's the top dogs of the lobby right now, Jalen and Tweet, who have been doing a lot of work. And the big thing is, with those pulse rifles, wood might as well be nothing. Wood is as good as paper when it comes to pulse rifles and breaking into boxes. So Kami will be hoping that they just leave him alone.
Wood is like going out in negative 30-degree weather with nothing but a hoodie. When you're inside, it makes you feel like you're going to be warm, but when you finally get out into the playing field, it's absolutely nothing. Axe Force and Vortexers, 91 builds on Axe Force. So plenty of material for them to work with, as they got a little bit of journey to get to the zone. But for them, there's not too many teams that are nearby, not too many teams congested that close. So they time it perfectly right. They can get there rather quick and try to gatekeep everyone else towards the outside of the lobby, as Vortexers just trying to go ahead and use those chug splashes, get them as close to 200 effective shield and HP, knowing how dangerous the rotation could possibly be.
And Pixie and Della, who were looking so good earlier, for a moment having to just regroup and use a bunch of those chug splashes to get them back into this game. We might not see them play for height the way they have at their very, very best, but that doesn't mean that they will be quiet in this game. They will still make a bunch of noise. 900 above, Surge is not a problem. They don't have to worry about that. They do have to worry about starting to maybe pick up some refreshes, look to get their heals back that they just had to use, and top up on their materials as well so that they can tarp out the rest of this game.
Alvi and Swizz, 203 above the damage threshold. Not too far of a rotation for them. So they're going to have the safety of the high ground and the comfortability. Just kind of gather all this information, put shots when they want. With only 29 medium bullets left in Alvi's Red Eye Assault Rifle. You can see why he's not pressuring people from above. Mr. Savage, just a couple of layers below, losing Fadil along the way. 43 below the damage threshold. Somebody went down, allowing them to go 188 above, giving Mr. Savage some comfortability. You can see how he's so far spread out from the rest of the lobby as well.
Yeah, you saw Artist was the one that actually got the final credit onto Vidil, man. These guys are taking out all the top dogs in this lobby. But Mr. Savage is a lone wolf, and he's done that plenty of time. One of the best solo players in the history of this game. And now, maybe a chance to show us exactly why the Norwegian is considered that. Shamoki and Juice Fishy, they're back in this game. They're back trying to show us what they can do. Axe Force and Vortexers, who have climbed through the standings today, also have a shot at this one.
295 above the damage threshold. As I say it, they drop 220 damage. Somebody is putting in work right now, 11. And for Vortexers and Axe Force, to put them really on notice that we have to start being proactive. We have to start getting active. We have to start getting the damage that we need, otherwise we might fall behind. For Vortex and Japko, 10 above is all they're going to be able to really capture for now as they use the ODM gears to go around the zone, taking some damage, but that way they can get to the front side and have a little bit more safety on their rotation.
Yeah, their position is a lot much better off for it. Trexa and Kiduo, they're also in the front side of the zone, but both players a bit separated there. Not together, they need to get back to each other. Mr. Savage, even as a solo, knows he needs to be aggressive down on Surge. Knows he can't just sit there and be taken out by the rest of the lobby. And so he's going to try and make a play. He's landed on that player's wall, needs to be careful, needs to drop back a bit. But he's looking at the backside. He knows there's going to be players coming, but he doesn't see the ones that he turned his back away from, and that will be the end of his run. But there's still more to fight for. Juice Fishy, Shamoki, they're still alive as a duo, and they're causing problems, Jacob.
Yeah, they're one of the teams that we've seen make it to the end of game number one, skyrocket to the top of that leaderboard. Now it's time for them to kind of play consistent, mimic that style of play as Della and Pixie under siege, under attack. ODM gear, melee attacks really causing destruction to the builds, forcing them on the back, but somebody's going to get into the box, putting a huge shot onto Della. Him and Pixie reunite yet again. The chemistry between these two is absolutely fantastic to watch.
It was Artist and Fire, bro, that kept on knocking on the door. They were trying to slam it down, push it away, but they couldn't. They just had to slip away. But the game continues. You can see Alvi up on height. They get chopped, and so they need to reconnect. They need to stay up there. Right now, that's their best shot of winning this game. Juice Fishy, Shamoki, they're still moving though. They're still alive in this one, but they're gonna have to start using some of their heals.
Yeah, with how quick the zone is moving, there's not too many opportunities to gonna put focus onto the high ground. Slurp Juice, he's able to get one back to back at that. He's gonna clean up all this loot, the siphon, the refresh, absolutely needed in the moment like this. 5 eliminations that continue to push forward. Pixie and Della doing the same thing, but congested towards the low ground. That's where it gets dangerous. Into our top 10 we go as they're going above, changing layers. Instead of fighting fire with fire, they're playing the smart and the long game.
Yeah, but they need to maybe think about claiming low. That's where the eliminations are gonna be. They need to start claiming space. Flixie and Grippe need to start hitting shots, but they can't. Curb, default. Really using them shotguns, putting it to work. But time is ticking, and they can't keep up. Alvi has to drop down now. Swizz also dropping down. Nobody really looking to go for heal off. Everybody right now just looking to fight with their shotguns. It's back to what we're typically used to seeing. Skibby is still alive. Juice Fishy, though, in the back of the zone, is eventually going to fall. And so it's Swizz all the way up above, now being forced all the way down.
He has no heals, though. Into our top 3. He's the last one alive for his team. He's trying to go and fight for it at the very end. He doesn't get nothing. And it's Shamoki and Juice Fishy yet again. 2 of our 4 games were won by this team, coming in from another region and winning by heal off.
Look, we've been saying they've come in from another region, but they have made EU their home. I don't consider them an Asia duo anymore. They are well and entrenched within EU. They play to the very best of their abilities, and that's why they win games here again. 2 now on the day. Really nicely done. Even when everything didn't look in their favor, they stuck together as a duo, and they hit the crucial shots. You can see here, what a shot that was. That's so difficult. And on to Jalen, the lobby boss nonetheless. Really nicely done from this duo.
Getting a siphon this late in the game kind of counts as an extra heal in the inventory. The extra 50 HP that they're able to get, especially in a moment like this, especially for Juice Fishy. He's the one going down and causing destruction for everybody trying to play heal off. That is back-to-back wins. I say back-to-back, but games 1 and game 4 won by these guys doing that exact strategy. They have their roles laid out perfectly.
Look, I like what I'm seeing from this team. They've come to Major 2 and they are showing up big. When a lot of our top teams weren't quite able to hit the mark in that game, these guys stepped up, and that's going to do wonders for them in the standings. Look, we have a couple more games left, but who better to break it all down than the analysts?
Thank you guys so much. Want to take a moment here to introduce SBG, our special guest hanging out with us, our analyst extraordinaire. Welcome to the broadcast. Hey, Shamoki got himself another victory royale there. Of course, it did happen with the heal off, but this feels a little more traditional Fortnite than we're used to seeing.
Yeah, dude was fragging right there. Little combination team play. You have the one teammate just absolutely popping off there in the end game. Then you have the other teammate playing a little safer, keeping all the heals in your back pocket just in case he can't frag that hard.
Yeah, look, Slurp Juice Fishy was not even having to utilize that legendary Slurp Juice. He was just slurping up everybody else's health with the refreshes, and I think that it was just an excellent job of weaving in between all of those build cracks wherever possible to connect those shots, because again, aim is everything when it comes to closing out.
Yeah, and it feels like a lot of these duos are trying to figure out a similar strategy, right? A lot of them seem to be focusing more on this kind of heal-off meta, but others are saying, I don't want that anymore. I want to be able to push and be as aggressive as possible. It's kind of what we talked about before this last game. SPG, do you feel like maybe some of these duos are looking to implement more aggression? Do you think maybe there's something else they're looking to do?
I think certain duos are going to be comfortable playing that aggressive style, but ultimately, not every team's built like that. Not every team can go get 8 elims in this lobby. And when you see Juice Fishy pop off like that and just literally use all these other players for heals, he doesn't need any heals himself, gives them all to Shamoki. That's a great play right there.
And this also might have been one of the most closely knit finishes that we've seen so far on the day. So I really love the fact that they were just playing off of each other so well throughout their box movements in order to capitalize on every single one of those elims they were managing to find.
Yeah, their pizza seems to have some kind of special ingredient, right? There's a little bit of extra spice on that because 2 victory royales on the day, especially a little over halfway through, does look pretty good. Let's take a look at our standings. How are things shaking out for these duos so far? With that, they now jump into first place, right? They're starting to look, like I kind of talked about, more traditional Fortnite. This is what we're seeing. Eliminations, consistency, and placement. And now they're at the top.
It's no surprise to me, though. You get 2 victory royales, you're in first place, and by a decent margin. 20 points is no small feat, and we're in the back half of this tournament now, so these two have set themselves up really nicely for the rest of this tournament.
I think they also just did an excellent job capitalizing on the fact that we saw our top 2 contenders with Queasy and Veno, Savage and Vidil going down relatively early. So Surf Juicy, they were able to take full advantage of it. But again, still a pretty strong showing, I think, from Savage and Vidil, considering that Savage was left in that solo situation.
Yeah, and talking about Savage, I mean, we've seen these two absolutely play perfectly through these games, and it's not something that they've exactly done leading up to this. Now showing whatever practice they've put in over the past couple of weeks, the VOD reviews, it's all come into play, and it's working so nicely for them because, I mean, second place, you're behind a team that's won 2 games, and they haven't even won 1 yet, but it doesn't matter.
And you have to consider that out of the 4 matches that have occurred so far, half of them you see Savage and Vidil not really having much heals to work with in the first place. So I think the fact that they're still managing to hold on to that top 2 threshold just kind of indicates that they're doing a great job at just managing their placements overall.
Looks so good and continues to look good. Now, of course, why don't we take a moment? Let's talk about Storm Surge. Okay, the dreaded Storm Surge. Let's discuss how these duos may be looking to deal with this, especially remember the brand new meta. We're trying to find our ways to make sure this doesn't affect us as a duo. So what are we seeing?
Well, for starters, we're actually witnessing, I think, a great usage out of these teams because one team in particular really took full advantage of their positioning in Frenzy Fields, and Airtrap, alongside of his duo, were really just micromanaging everyone that was trying to funnel in a little bit late from Mega City.
And it's that game you're playing of, do I want to get center zone or do I want to play edge? And we see there's just a wave of teams coming through. They know they can play edge, and they're just going to sit there, farm all these tags, because if you don't get enough damage early, you're going to run into problems where every single zone, then you have to work to continue to get that damage.
And then every single time, it just set them up so nicely because they had the height to utilize the whole way through. They also had the red eyes, which are definitely going to help you finding the accuracy for those Storm Surge tags. And I think overall, they kind of just understood that they had ample time to work with here.
Everyone has to have that strat, and we saw it from them. This is clearly their strat. Play edge when zone pulls to the west, knowing teams have to funnel into you. Hey, it's not going to pull that way every time, but when it works, it works.
Yeah, again, it's just all about adapting, right? That's what Fortnite's all about. How do we take all the tools in our toolbox and turn this into a victory royale or a high placement? We do have a little bit, you know, before this next game. I kind of want to talk to you, SBG. You've been watching. What are your expectations kind of going in? Are there any trends you're seeing? Not heal off, but maybe how looking to combat that or even other strategies?
I mean, I think that high ground play we've seen work pretty consistently. The sky base, you've mentioned it before, just going up there and looking to play passively. You don't really need to do too much while you're up there, but you're not going to get punished when you do get chopped out, so you don't really have anything to lose. So I'm surprised we're not seeing more teams try and go for that play because most of those teams are on a single build and really easily chopped out.
Absolutely wild. Game 5 is here, and it is just about time to get into all of the action once again. So everybody grab a kinetic blade, grab some popcorn, find your seats. 2 more games. How does this unfold? Let's find out.
This is it. This is what we came for. The top of the leaderboards is claimed by Shamoki and Juice Fishy, and they've done it by winning 2 victory royales out of only 4 games.
Yeah, they've been one of the best teams to watch throughout today's games, and I think there's no surprise why they sit currently in first place. Why they've been so impressive throughout the past couple of seasons we've gotten the chance to watch them. I'm very impressed, but look, there are still 2 more games where big shakeups can certainly happen.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be looking over toward Kenjutsu's crossing to see if Queasy and Veno can finally make something happen over on that side of the map. Back-to-back times, they weren't just beat, they were outdropped and outplayed.
What's going on with the drop map? They got to fix things up, and the time to do that is now. Can they improve off spawn? Can they finally just survive? Who would have thought they would be losing off spawn the way they have? But the chance now to make amends is here in game 5. And Kenjutsu will be one of the last places where people get the chance to drop, so I'm sure it'll take a while for them to actually land. Maybe a couple of seconds. You can see them probably just jumping out just about there.